let's take it a little slower. Wake up, drink. On the
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Boom! Listen. Wow, the door's shut and everything. You don't know what we know, but we know stuff. Anyway,
We know what's behind that door.
So a few things. I want this. This is going to be normally I ask you guys, and I will ask you guys, but I'm going to talk for a second. Okay?
Hey, Cody. How was your TV experience this week?
It is great. So we're entering a bad time. We're entering a bad time because these shows have gotten to a level that I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. Okay. I was off work this week because I had some time that I got to use. Thank you, my employer. But the problem was I decided to watch these early, and then I was stewing for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just like tapping because I was like, I could watch season 5 of some of these things. And The Sopranos came out. When did The Sopranos end? Does anybody know the time?
The
When?
actual series?
No. Yeah.
Like an 08, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. I've avoided how this show ends for my entire life. I am under social media fire every day on The Sopranos. Worst TV endings. What if I told you this ending in Sopranos is actually good? Blah, blah, blah. It's every day. I'm having to swipe fast if I'm away from my phone. I toss AirPods. I'm trying to stay so far away from this, but it is.
Meta, stop targeting Cody. Leave him alone.
You guys remember 11/22/63 when he like get closer to something like the fucking passes fight? That's me. I'm getting close to the end by my own natural self, knowing nothing, and everything is out to get me. So I'm not happy. But these shows are fantastic. I'm really interested to see what everybody ranks the seasons as this time. But Mark, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
Yeah, very, very swell. Going through a little bit of what you're going through, but with the Shield, because we're now at a point where I just really want to know what happens like in the Shield, because I'm completely in a blind spot here, and like this is brutal. Like, I mean, it wasn't really like this with Oz, because even though we got to a point where I hadn't seen anything from Oz, like I could give less of a shit what happened later in Oz. Didn't matter. Here, like
if we got together and said, "Hey, we're just gonna skip the rest of Oz," and we're just gonna like, we would all been greenlit that shit in a heartbeat. No, this is like
what we thought happened the rest of the show.
How the Shield started to how the Shield is now. I'm like itching. Like I'm just like
You guys haven't even seen the good stuff.
The last episode, which we will talk in depth on, I was like, no. And I was just I was yelling at my television. So, Mark, I cut you off. Did you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, no, we're good. I'll get us on topic.
I like that Mark is now experiencing what Cody has experienced for most of these shows that he's never seen before.
Yeah. Because normally you guys are the ones that are like, I got this. We got a bomb dropped on us last episode by Matt. It derailed the entire show that he is just now caught up to where he first jumped into The Sopranos.
You guys want to hear another twist? Next week when we start season 5 of The Shield, that was the first episode of The Shield I ever watched. So with Shield, I watched season 5, 6, and 7. Then I went back and watched 1 through 4.
Matt doesn't like building. He doesn't like to watch the build up of things. Like,
he's the direct opposite of who I am. Like I could never
streaming where you could easily binge like shows when you miss stuff.
But I'm the type of guy that it would be like episode 3 of season 1. That The shark's been jumped. I can't start now. What happened in those first 2 episodes?
Oh yeah.
Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
Doing good. It's always a fun week when we get to do the season finales, and we're already up to the end of season 4. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about these shows with you guys.
All right. Well, let's just jump in. We're not that anybody else will know. We're starting later than we normally do, so let's just jump right in. Hey, Shield using some words. So
Yeah, get some lengthy episode titles in this batch here. So we're gonna kick it off with season 4, episode 11, 1,000 Deaths. Which begins with the guys kind of practicing a little bit with the lie detector in preparation for their tests. We get another good Shaneism, eating ain't cheating. Then we go to Monica. She's talking with some of the people in the community. The assistant chief of police is there as well, and he kind of tells them that the department is reevaluating the seizure policy because no one in the community likes it. Aceveda tells Monica that he's going to go to bat for her on the seizure policy, if she'll go along with maybe a few of his conditions to kind of make it a little different. But she pretty much just turns him down, says it is what it is. Then we got the strike team meets with Halpern about Antoine's lawyer talking with another one-niner named Weed, and they're just kind of be like, so who's going to be in charge of the one-niners now that Antoine's gone? We think it should be you. So if you're willing to work with us, he tells them about the El Salvadorian that Antoine did most of his deals with. And then pretty much immediately they go over and they talk to the one-niner named Weed to just kind of see what he has to offer, to see if they help him become the leader, what he can do for them. And he tells them about some of the kids bragging about one of the dead cops' guns. So they got a couple leads to pursue now. Meanwhile, Dutch and Corinne is still a thing a little bit. But she visits Vic at the barn and tells him about Dutch, which he actually takes it a lot better than I thought he would. But he tells her that Dutch is just trying to get at him through her. Claudette also warns Dutch about seeing her. Vic continues to give Dutch a hard time about the whole thing. And so Dutch and Corinne have a meeting, and he tells her that maybe at first him getting her was partially to get back at Vic, but now it's real. But she just tells him that she can't trust him and that he should go. So I don't think that relationship's going to make it.
I'm nobody's game.
And then we have Detective Billings, who we've seen a little bit this season as a character we're going to get to see more of as the show goes on. But he's washing his car, and he witnesses a gang killing and doesn't really do much to stop it.
Pulls that gun out.
Yeah,
just stays very still against that wall. But he has, basically, if they came over his stall, he can take care of them. But he ain't
I'll
jumping.
step in here when they drive away.
Dutch and Claudette show up to investigate. They question one of the witnesses across the street, and she describes a car very, very similar to Billings' car. And we find out that Billings called an anonymous tip into the police station about the shooters. But Dutch
he knew how to stay off the tracker and give it no information. And he drives a similar car for you. What's up, buddy?
And the person gave really good information, but Dutch is beginning to suspect that Billings was actually the witness. So he and Claudette talk to him, and he kind of comes clean with them, but asks them not to tell anyone about it. Later on, they pull Billings in to ID the suspect in a lineup, but he refuses because he doesn't want to be a part of that. But Dutch and Claudette, being the detectives they are, they're able to get the guy to confess without Billings' help anyway, so that's okay. They didn't really need him. Meanwhile, Vic, Shane, and Lem go to visit one of the guys, but Pintero from one of the previous episodes, but he's already skipped town because he was afraid of the El Salvadorians after Lem took his heroin stash. They do find his cutter, though. Omelia, I'm going to mess up that name every time. And she's worried that the
Oh, join the club. I don't remember anybody's name ever.
Yeah, she's worried that the El Salvadorians are going to come after her when they can't find him. So they put her and her child in a safe house. And you see, Vic has already got a sweet spot for her. It kind of reminds me of the prostitute from the first couple seasons there that he was trying to take care of.
Yeah.
Lem and Vic go and visit the El Salvadorians, and they give them the heroin back that Lem took, and tells them to leave her alone, that she wasn't involved in any of that. Meanwhile, we got Army is getting a little bit nervous about the lie detector, but Lem tells him that after he passes the test, which is it's easy, he should probably really think about just getting away from the strike team. Because once you get in, there's no really getting out. So this is probably his chance to get away. The strike team follows up the leads on. They end up finding a dead body and one of the cops' radios. They then track down another suspect and get in a shootout. Lem kills one of them, and they capture the other one's alive. And one of them was fleeing, has one of the dead cops' guns. So we're putting it all together now. Monica and Vic question the cop killer suspect, and he confesses to stabbing the cops in the sewer and then dumping them in the house under orders. Shane discovered that one of the Russian suspects spent a night in the barn after arguing with one of the dead cops about a speeding ticket. Monica thanks the strike team for nailing the cop killer. And she also surprises Shane and Army with the lie detector test a week early as part of the reward. Shane takes the test, and he does pretty well. But Army refuses to take the test. He says, I talked with my union rep, says I don't have to take this test. They don't really confirm anything. Monica's not very happy about it. And that's pretty much the end of our Army. He's going to kind of go his separate way and get away from the strike team.
I just love when she screams, "It's too late!" Just like she flies off the handle. Like,
So Aceveda, he's going to support Monica on the seizure policy, and he's still suggesting some compromises. But Monica tells him that if the seizure policy goes, so does she. Vic then tells the rest of the strike team that they need to figure out how Antoine was behind all the players involved in the cop killings. And that's kind of where we leave off at the end of this episode. So kind of setting everything up for the last couple.
yeah, I think we all knew that he wasn't going to be the one to take the lie detector test, or was going to be the one to fail miserably. He didn't get a whole lot of action in previous episodes, so it seemed like they were cutting him out. The whole seizure thing is just crazy how it's all going to boil down and work out. But Aceveda's a piece of shit. I don't like him at all. No one should. He's just the scummiest scumbag of all time. But overall, I think it's a great setup episode to get us into the final two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this sets everything up pretty well going into the next one. We'll double down on the Aceveda. He really this is the best Aceveda. Political Aceveda is the best one because he is just an asshole, and there's nothing really good about him at that point. And nothing proves that more than what happens in the very next episode. and then the Army stuff is also really funny. It's like, good, they don't prove anything. I don't have to take it, except when you don't take the test. You dumb fuck. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, and Aceveda, like, yeah, we would all be like, "Oh, your home life," and "Oh, you're talking to your kid." We don't give a fuck about that, but he's an asshole. We still hate him. So.
Speaking of Aceveda, this next episode is titled Judas Priest. The strike team is staking out the Russians. They witness one of them being a little rough with a hooker. They then go and search his office. They observe what they think is the Russians doing a drug deal or with a bunch of drugs, but they find out it's actually C4. The Russians are trying to ship a ton of C4 out to Russia. But Monica, the strike team, and the SWAT team, they're all able to get in there and stop the deal. Vic and the rest of the guys try to question one of the Russians about the cop killings, and they use a little bit of C4 to help in their interrogation techniques, kind of scare the guy a little bit. But as he's trying to get away, he falls over with a chair and kind of triggers the C4, blowing himself up. And the set designer did an awesome job in that scene where he just got body parts all over the room and everything.
Don't stop! You're gonna blow yourself up. Boom. Let's get out of here.
And that's great too, because that's a great scene where Vic is like, he's so pissed off about what happened, and then like the next scene, he's walking in there with Monica, acting like he's seen it for the first time. You see like the duality of Vic right there perfectly. But yeah, they're able to actually trace some of the tapes they found in the office back to a Jason Porter, which matches the JP necklace that they found in the sewer where the cops were killed. They find out that Jason Porter is actually Antoine's half-brother. Plot twist. They're able to trick Jason into coming to a pawn shop to buy the necklace back, and they arrest him. Monica and Vic question him. They find out Antoine has been paying for his college. They tell him that if he gets arrested for this, he's going to be going to a different prison than Antoine. And he tries to tell them that he planned the whole thing himself in order to impress Antoine. But Vic doesn't believe that. But Azaveda says that, hey, this is a good way to keep it separate from the seizures in order to keep the seizures separated from the cop killings. That might be the best way to play it. But Monica and Vic, they still keep going after Jason. They tell him about how they can end up taking his father's house because it was involved with money from Antoine. They offer him a deal in order to keep him and his father safe, which he takes the deal. And he tells them about his involvement with Anton's operations and how they were involved with the Russians and the Nigerians in planning and carrying out the cop killings. The assistant chief of police tells Monica that the chief has made the decision to shelf the seizure policy. Monica talks to Acevedos. She suggests that they might be able to work together and keep the seizures alive, which, I mean, Acevedo's been trying to do that with her for the last couple episodes, but she hasn't been able to bend, so not really much he can do at this point now. Dutch and Claudette respond to a murder of a rage counselor who took a shotgun blast to the crotch. After questioning a few people, they began suspecting a wheelchair-bound suspect, which one of the greatest scenes of this episode is them trying to carry this guy up the stairs to the interrogation room.
Yeah, it's like, let's go upstairs. I'm like, there's not a room down there you can just choose.
Like, there's got to be somewhere. There's a break room down on the first floor. You guys can question him there.
And if I was him, I would let him go all the way up and then plead the fifth. And be like, I need my lawyer. Like, carry me all the way up for me to say fucking nothing.
But yeah, so they think pretty much that this wheelchair guy, that he set up the victim in order to rob him, which he did. He ends up confessing to it pretty much. The cops, they're still picking on Dutch for dating Corinne. He asked Billings to kind of help him out with it, try to figure out who's behind it. But then he later gets upset when he sees that Billings is also laughing along with everyone else. They end up getting in a little bit of a fist fight out in the parking lot with everybody watching. Vic ends up getting involved too. I think he catches a stray, and then Dutch gets up in his face a little bit too. But Claudette breaks it all up. Then Dutch meets with Corinne and tells her that he's not afraid, and if she ever wants to give him another chance, he'll be there. And then meanwhile, while all this stuff is going on, the cuddler's wife visits Dutch. we had to get the cuddler back from Mark.
I love when they do the recap right before, and you're like, I haven't talked about the cuddler in a while, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, his wife's going up here. It was either that or what's his Dutch is going to get a little cuckoo, and he does get a little cuckoo.
A little bit. But yeah, she tries to tell Dutch that she's getting harassed by people calling and saying she deserves to suffer like the same way her husband's victims did. He tells her it's probably nothing serious, but he'll look into it. Danny and Julian call Dutch after she calls them out there. It appears that someone broke into the home and kind of tossed all the stuff around. Danny and Julian do find a relative of one of the Cuddler's victims who has been making phone calls, so they're going to deal with that. And then later on, Danny and Julian return to the home, and they go around the back of the house, and the Cuddler's wife shoots Danny, thinking that she's an intruder. So I guess she's going to get arrested for that, I think. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so that's kind of that. Meanwhile, kind of the big thing for this episode, Aceveda is delivered a subpoena about an appeal for the guy who assaulted him. So Aceveda goes and he meets with Juan, who wants Aceveda to say that he forced the confession. If not, he's going to tell the whole courtroom about what happened between them. He tells Aceveda that he still has the picture and that all of the family and stuff is either dead or has moved away, so there's nothing that Aceveda can do to hurt him anymore. Then later, Juan's girlfriend approaches Aceveda trying to get an audio recording of him talking about the picture, but Aceveda's a little bit too smart for these two, so he pretty much figures out what they're trying to do. She tells him that Juan, though, is serious about talking. So then Aceveda goes and pays a visit to Antoine, telling him that the DEA may be willing to make a deal with him in order to get information on the El Salvadorians. Antoine tells Aceveda to let them know he's interested. And Aceveda tells him that he might be able to convince the DEA that he's a good team player if he takes care of a problem with one of the inmates in the jail there with him named Juan. So then towards the end of the episode here, we have the assistant chief of police just storms into the barn and tells Monica about the deal that the DEA is trying to make with Antoine and about Aceveda's involvement with it. She, of course, is pissed at Aceveda. She tells Jason that his deal is off since Antoine has already made a better deal and he's getting away with it. Monica and Vic then storm into Aceveda's office, pretty much yelling about him. He tells them that he can't call it off now, that it's all in the DEA's hands. They both pretty much just tell him off. And that's kind of the end of this episode.
You're no cop. You never were. Yeah, fuck that. When I saw, kind of answered my question. Antoine, like Antoine being wrapped up episode 10 or 9 or whatever. So what are you gonna do? Have to create some intrigue. So that's very interesting how that all worked. Aceveda playing scumbag move, but also trying to cover because she's like, I'll go on the stand and say it all, like everything you did. And then him to die is just interesting, which sets up fuel for the next episode. And then have we got to the Dutch part? Where Dutch and Vic's wife are in the kitchen?
I think that's happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how I see, like I said, he killed that cat because he's gonna become a serial killer. And then Mark was like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, what is this? You see how the moment he grabs her hips and then like they do the pan away where he like cuts all the way back? Those tendencies are firing up in old Dutchie. Old Dutchie is gonna start breaking the mold. He's gonna go bad. I think it's gonna happen. They're little breadcrumbs. Here it comes. Mark, get ready. Dutch is gonna be a bad guy. Very bad guy.
Sure.
Yeah. Have you seen how the Shield ends?
No, but it
Then
just
shut up.
we'll see that. I'm doubtful.
What's a better opportunity? Dutch breaks the law, or Pete becomes a redeemable character?
I would
Dutch
still
breaking
do a
law.
Pete on this one. Like, I don't know. Like what do we say breaking? What do we say breaking the law? We like what he racks up some speeding tickets.
Dutch kills somebody.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does something. He does something bad. Bad. At least 5 to 10 years behind bars. Longer, maybe.
I mean that could still be like tax evasion. Like so, like I think we're still.
I'm not
I mean-
going on tax evasion.
Like, whatever. I did like that scene just because I just really want Dutch to get over, and I just think it's the funniest thing ever. I just
You're a
think it's
scumbag.
great.
I mean, they had a few dates. I'm sure they had some good times. It seemed like he was getting comfortable in the home. So
I'm hungry like a wolf.
I want it so bad because then Vic has to watch that video. He maybe rewatches that Hungry Like a Wolf video and then thinks to himself, "Wow, this guy is currently with my ex-wife." He has to live with that, and I would really want that for Vic more than anything.
Now I'm gonna go sleep with a hooker because I feel so upset.
That's a you don't bring. That's a technical foul. Like, don't make that's wrong. We shouldn't do that to them.
But yeah, good old Acevedo making his nomination for Bad Guy of the Week. Like, really, like just the worst guy. Like just the worst guy. Like
Now, we can all agree, the guy that forced Acevedo to suck, him dying is not the worst thing. But
No.
to get Antoine a plea deal,
him ordering getting Antoine to like order the killing and then like getting the DA.
I mean, I'm sure he could have set that up another way without having to get Antoine released.
also, by the way, and Acevedo and your moral fucking high ground against Vic. Bye. That's all gone. You fucking sold that one, buddy. You just hired a hit. Look, at least Vic does it himself. When he kills a fellow cop, he does it himself.
But yeah, so that will get us into our season finale, episode 13. Ain't that a shame?
Oh, look at those. We look at all that. 4 words and an 8. Oh, spare no expense.
Monica tells the strike team that they need to mess up Antoine's DEA deal. We get Julian praying for Danny in the hospital. She's okay. I'm sure she'd probably be doing a little better if there wasn't a guy just praying beside her bed all day. But she thanks him anyway for taking care of her after everything they've been through recently. The strike team is curious about Acevedo's meeting with Antoine, and they also noticed that he visited another prisoner earlier named Juan. And what do you know? This Juan person ended up getting killed in prison. So Vic visits Acevedo and kind of talks to him about Juan. Acevedo kind of just like tells a whole bunch of stories and kind of does his Acevedo thing. And Vic tells him that if Antoine killed Juan, it would definitely mess up his DEA deal. But Acevedo kind of sidesteps that a little bit too. Antoine is given the DEA all the information they need about the El Salvadorians. He's pretty much going to get them all caught up in it. Monica is listening in the other room as he talks about their boss, Bonilla. She gives the boss's name to the strike team and tells them if they can get to him first, it will mess up Antoine's deal. So they start working with some of the El Salvadorians that they've been talking with previously and trying to track down this guy. Lem gets a little overwhelmed because they kind of left him watching 3 of these guys. Didn't tie him up, just left him sitting on a couch and left him with a shotgun. So, of course, they kind of overwhelmed him a little bit, and one of the guys, Gusano, gets away. Thankfully, though, Lem I was a little bit worried there for a second for Lem, because like this is a season finale, anything can happen, but he did okay. Monica and Vic talk with Bonilla, and she gives them information that leads them back to Gusano. Vic talks with him, and Gusano tells them that the drugs that Vic and Lem gave back to them weren't legit. They wasn't the heroin that was actually missing. They crack Gusano's phone code, and he tells them about Bonilla, that there's a club that he usually hangs out at. So the strike team, they stake it out and they are able to ID the guy, and they eventually arrest him and his men. Monica tells the DEA that they will give them Bonilla to them if they cancel out Antoine's deal. So Monica pretty much kind of got what she was going for there. We got Corinne goes to Vic's apartment to pick up Cassidy and finds her with a boy. So Corinne tells Vic, and then he talks to Cassidy, and she says they weren't doing anything. But, she kind of says some things about how she reminds him of Vic because he doesn't take any shit from anybody, which the Vic doesn't feel like that's a good thing for someone to be looking at. But Vic tells Corinne that maybe Cassidy should move back in with her. So I guess the other kids are a little bit older now, so Cassidy's fine to go back over there. Dutch and Claudette respond to a murder at a quinceañera. The victim's daughter tells them that the boyfriend and one of his friends came to visit him. She eventually tells them the friend's name is Miguel. They pick him up, and it leads them to discover that the foster home from a few episodes ago is still operational, which Monica is very much not happy to hear about this. She talks to the child services supervisor and tells her that they're going to seize the house. Dutch and Claudette warn her that now is not a good time because of the whole seizure policy being on the chopping block. Vic also tells her that it's a pretty bad idea. But Monica, she goes ahead and she seizes the home. The child services supervisor comes to take all the children away. The assistant chief and Aceveda call in Monica. The DEA is very unhappy with what she did, and they are threatening the mayor to pull funding for the city. They want Monica fired, and the chief of police has agreed to their request. And there's pretty much nothing that either one of them can do to fight for her. Monica goes and visits with the internal affairs officer that she had following the strike team. He tells her that Amelia, she is actually a informant for them. And through her, they found out that Lem never logged in the heroin that he took, and he never logged it into evidence. So they found it in his car, and they replaced it with some fake drugs. So he tells her that his boss in internal affairs is going to try to use this. They pretty much got Lem red-handed, so they're going to try to use this to take down the strike team. And Amelia, she is going to be involved. She's going to play Vic because she says that he cares about her and her boy. And Monica pretty much just tells him, hey, I've been fired. That's somebody else's problem now. Claudette and Dutch kind of talk about what's going to happen now. Dutch says that they're probably going to make Claudette captain now. But she says, no, they're not going to mess with me. They're going to want to try to find probably a spineless yes man from outside of here. The barn does stand up for Monica, though. When the police come to kind of help her get out of there, but they say that she needs to stay long enough to make the arrest when Antoine shows up. Antoine gets brought in, and Monica gets to tell him he's under arrest for the conspiracy to kill 2 police officers, and Shane is the one that gets to put him in the cage. Vic escorts Monica home. She says she's going to stick around Farmington for a bit. She asks him what he's going to do now, and she asks him to kind of take a look at where he's going and to take care of himself. She doesn't warn him about the internal affairs investigation or anything like that, but he leaves, and she kind of has a moment where she just breaks down briefly, but then she kind of pulls herself back together. The assistant chief of police asks Dutch to step in as interim captain. And he turns him down, saying he's not going to be a yes man for them, and he's not going to leave his partner. Vic invites Dutch to come out and celebrate, nailing Antoine with everyone. So I think Dutch is kind of that little fight that they had kind of brought Dutch a couple of points in Vic's eyes. So everyone goes out to the bar and they're drinking and celebrating. It's almost like a season finale of The Wire. everyone's out there just having a good old time. Vic
Similar.
leads
They're
a
both police procedures.
Vic leads a toast for Carl and Scooby. Monica drinks a beer alone at her home. And then back at the bar, we see that the internal affairs officer is also at the bar, keeping an eye on the strike team as we close out season 4.
Fucking bullshit with Monica gone.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, when I saw Glenn Close show up, I was like, I don't think she's gonna be here that long. Like, how long can they keep Glenn on the thing? She was so good for the season, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like, I don't know where they're gonna go, but like, I think she elevated the season to better
And
than
it
what
was
it's
such
been.
a big deal when she did it, because this was like back before when like movie stars were coming and doing TV shows and stuff. This was like one of the first times
And
really.
this is before like her TV run where she does
Yeah.
like a couple things, like
Mhm.
she does damages or something.
Yeah.
Like she's involved in some stuff, but
Yeah.
overall really great. I just love that scene where she's with the police captain and Acevedo and it's like, well, you'll stand by me, right? You'll defend me, right? Of all the stuff that was working, like, nope, like not, and then just sit in silence with her and like it's out of our hands. So she like goes, yeah. The interesting thing about now we set up basically season 5, Nick and the cat and mouse of how that's all gonna end up working out. I think it was interesting. They did a really good job of like not letting us know whatever happened to the heroin.
Mhm.
Because like he takes the heroin, he puts it in his truck. We all see that, and then they get busted or whatever for the fake stuff. He's like, "Fake? Like, what are you talking about? Fake? Like,
Mhm.
they gave him the real tar, thinking it was going to be something, but it was ended up being fake, and they had no idea how it was fake." Uh, uh, where they even questioned the guy, was like, "Are you selling fake?" They're like, "Fake? What are you talking about?" So like they ended up doing a really good job of how that all worked out and how the whole strike team, like where the future goes, like where it ends up happening.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a great ending to a great season. I thought, like overall, like just like every ups and downs and where it ended up going, and then just to see like Antoine getting the plea deal, getting put out, and then going back in for a new crime. It's just like fuck yes. So excited to see where it goes. Great season though. Oh, he's
think you
muted. How long do we let him talk without not knowing he's muted? What a loser!
God damn it.
So worth it.
Yeah, no, this great season with the Shield for sure. We the way we kind of finished up the Antoine stuff really neat. We had that close call with Len and how he just take care of the business. Like honestly, like they needed 5 guys to kill Len. like 3 was clearly not enough. but like that was really neat, and I love how the Glenn Close stuff got wrapped up because we think like, oh, it's probably going to be the fact that she still did the seizure. No, it's honestly something kind of similar to The Wire in the sense of like, listen, we watched a whole show of when this of the consequences of when you fuck with people that have more power than you, and that's exactly what she did, and it ended in a very realistic way of like, no, these people are in a position to ruin your life, and that's exactly what they did. And we get into the whole, and then we have that great intrigue going into season 5 of Vic and his crew now being looked into from internal affairs because they now actually have something against them, and it's for something that honestly is not even really that connected to them. It's something like we weren't really looking into, and honestly would not have been and just the bad luck of like them running into a snitch, unfortunately. No, excellent stuff. I cannot wait to get into season.
All right, ready to travel to New York in the 60s.
That's me. All right.
Oh God, I hope it's you. If not, I'm gonna be fucked.
All right. Episode 11. Chinese Wall, season 4. Here we go. Yeah, we got Peggy and Peggy goes out to go on a beach trip, hangs out with that friend. I can never remember her name. And a bunch of people show up. And who do you think is also there? Abe, everybody's favorite. And they end up getting close. She's got to sit in his lap to make room in the car. And they I guess he said the right things or whatever, because they end up going back to her apartment. They have sex, because Peggy has a wonderful taste in that. Kenny is on a dinner date with his wife and his in-laws. And then somebody from a rival company, a BBDO, just kind of says some weird thing to Kenny. And he's like, huh, that was a little weird. So he goes over to the guy. It's like, hey, what do you mean by that comment? It's like, oh, man, you didn't hear? Lucky Strike. They're gone. They're coming over to us. And Kenny is like, huh, that's weird. And he goes back with his in-laws. Like, yeah, sorry, guys. I got to get out of here. The guy said something kind of fucked up. I got to run. He then goes over to Pete. He's at the hospital because Trudy is in labor. And he says, hey, I just heard from this guy that Lucky Strike is out. He's like, what are you talking about? And then Pete goes and calls Don. And it's like, hey, Don, you hear about Lucky Strike leaving this? He's about to bang Faye. And he's like, what are you talking about? This has ruined my evening. Like, let's get everybody together and let's go figure this out. And then, of course, last person to arrive at the office is Roger. It's like, hey, we just heard Lucky Strike's leaving. Roger's like, well, I haven't heard anything about it. And then Roger goes and makes a very fake call of like, oh, Lee, what are you talking about? You've been at business for 11 years. I had to find out on the street, whatever. Tries his best to sell it in the office, and weirdly enough, a lot of people there bought it. So it is now out that SCDP lost Lucky Strike, and they told Roger to get on his first flight to Raleigh. I think it's South Carolina. It was one of the Carolinas, so he can go talk to them in person. Then Pete, after hearing that, he goes talk to his father-in-law about what happened with Lucky Strike. He's saying, hey, it's maybe a good time to get out. You're about to have a family. You're ready. You had your fun, running your own business now. Let's just rake in the dollars here. There's no prize for going down with the ship. The next morning, Peggy and Abe are like, we got stuff to do, right? And it's like, Abe was like, oh, I'm free. So they end up, having some more fun in the morning. So, we got to keep worrying about that. Roger,
scumbag human. Her picking men are some of the worst in movie history.
Yeah, we got to do. Not looking forward to that. Roger goes to his fake meeting with Lucky Strike, calls the office, says, it's over, as he's sitting in that hotel room. Then, of course, everybody gathers together, and the partners then tell everybody that, hey, we just lost Lucky Strike. And everybody in there is like, oh, what's going to happen? And they're saying, well, I don't know, they seem optimistic. And Don gives his we're gonna win it for the Gipper speech. And I think it was Stan who point, or is either Stan or Freddie is I don't know, they got the accountant up here talking. It's only a matter of time before they start firing people. Then Don gets everybody else in his creative group. He's like, hey, the client's ideas are right this week. And hey, Peggy, you still got that Playtex meeting? He's like, yeah, I can bring you up to speed. I was like, no, I can't bring you in, or look desperate if I'm there. I was like, all right, then what are you telling me? Be successful.
Don't fuck it up.
Roger then calls Joan. He breaks to her that he's known about Lucky Strike for weeks, and Joan doesn't really know what to do with that information. She just seems pretty pissed about it. And while Peggy is prepping for Playtex, favorite guy shows up again. Just can't get enough. What it is, and also gives Stan the wrong idea, because now Stan can see all this stuff happening.
Because she says it's the delivery guy or something like that.
The delivery guy.
I don't know of a more special human being on social cues than this motherfucker. Holy shit. Like, when we get to the part, my jaw hit the floor.
I mean, she's just doing the delivery guy. I mean,
What? Like,
Wait, it's not a free fly zone? What the fuck? Like, what?
Oh yeah, we'll get there. So the partners are then looking over their current accounts, trying to keep them on board. Of course, while they're going over that, Don then gets a call from Glowcoat, from the company that they just won a Clio for. He's like, "Yeah, we're going a different way with this. Thank you guys for all you did." And Don, of course, reacts appropriately by telling him off and throwing that award across the room. Then he heads back into that meeting and then blames Pete for possibly scaring the hell out of him. And Pete is like, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. Like, I mean, I just told him we're going on. Then, of course, after that, Pete leaves the office. He goes back over. Trudy is still in labor. Of course, though, Ted Shaw is there, and he makes his play at Pete, trying to sell him on possibly being an account man for them after Jim Cutler retires. So then we then go back over to Joan and Roger. Roger comes by Joan's place, but she makes it pretty clear that she's just there as a friend. And Roger then reluctantly says, I kind of wish that time in the dirty alley was our last time.
I wish you would have told me.
Yeah, I wish I had known.
I wish I had known that it was the last time.
Might have done it a little differently.
Might
have given you my A game instead of my back alley game.
Disgusting human being.
Then they get Faye. She tries to comfort Don, trying to convince him that. She tries to comfort him, tells him about like some of these companies that she hears about that are having trouble. And Don is like, "Oh, you got companies that are having trouble. Why don't you just give it to me?" He's like, "Well, I can't do that. It would be bad for my business. Like, I can't be like some leaky faucet here." And he's like, "What? You don't care about me?" And then Faye is like, "Nah, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not." So of course,
so stupid.
That definitely doesn't go their way. And then as we mentioned, Stan, he sees Peggy is getting a little nervous about the Playtex meeting. Stanley's like, you know what? I think I got the cure for that. Let's just get this door shut. And all right, Peggy, I'm gonna help you relax. And he makes an unwarranted advance on her because, why not? He's like, let's give this a shot. It's 60.
You let the delivery driver hit. Why can't I get? What the fuck is wrong with you? God, he is so stupid. Like, not only is like, what? How do you want to do this? Like, I'm horned up too. Like, what? Sir, this is a Wendy's. Like, what the fuck are you trying to do? Wild. Could be bad guy of the week. Could arguably make a case. Tried to sexually assault this guy, and then tells him, he goes, "No hard feelings, right?" It's the 60s. What can I say? My voice doesn't matter.
It is another hurdle Peggy's got to deal with, unfortunately, and business dominated room. We then get in a partner, or at least partners getting together for this funeral. Like, if they blame Roger for his complacency with Lucky Strike, and they then head off to some funeral trying to snag some possible accounts there. Just because that's what happens over those things. And while they're in the middle of that meeting, Pete finds out that Trudy gave birth to a girl, so he's now a dad. And then we get into the Playtex meeting, and Peggy's able to do pretty well. She's able to sell that idea, but she unfortunately had lipstick all over her teeth. Stan saw it, said, "Nah, you don't need to know." The Playtex guy also kind of saw it, gave her like a tongue licking look to her. He's like, "Hey, why don't you give this a little smudge?" And then of course Harry's like, "Hey, you got lipstick all your as like the meeting was over."
There are ways to tell somebody they have lipstick on their teeth. That tongue maneuver was not one of them.
Well, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was like,
He needed to be put on a watch list. He needed to be put on a watch list after that.
Yeah, so of course they go to the funeral. I guess they don't get anybody out of that. It'd be a weird place to pick up an account. He goes over. There's some work he's got to go over at the office. Megan is there, and she's like, "Hey, why don't I kind of want to learn about this stuff. Why don't we stop in and help you out?" And then Dawn is like, "Yeah, sure." He starts talking over of her. He starts talking about her life, and one thing leads to another, and Don goes 2 for 3 of his secretaries for this season because Don just doesn't learn or whatever. So like just has to go and make sexual congress with Megan again after she promises to not run out the office crying. So yeah,
and then the other secretary, she was only a couple of weeks away, but she just couldn't hold out long enough.
So yeah, Don does that. Roger gets home, and after a lousy day, as Jane says, "Hey, good news! I got your book. Why don't you sign this for me?" I've seen like the worst title of like Sterling's Gold, like just awful. Like that dumb. And then Don does leave Megan. He gets back to his apartment. He sees Faye there. She's trying to slip him a note. Turns out that she got him a meeting with Heinz. Not ketchup, unfortunately. It's for sauces, vinegar, and beans. All the reject stuff from Heinz. So, like, hey, it's something. Yeah. So Don was happy about that, and they spend the night together. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of Chinese Wall.
Yeah, it's a solid episode. Nothing too crazy happens, but some good character stuff as they're trying to figure out what the world is post Lucky Strike. I think we pretty much covered everything that I got in my notes here.
Yeah. Peggy refused to have sex with that one guy forever. Just handies, and now she's like, let's fuck all the time. Woo woo. With one of the worst human beings ever. So that sucks. Don hasn't partaked in a different direction yet, has he? Or did I miss that part when you were talking?
No, yeah, they hooked up in his office at the end there.
Oh yeah, I want you. I don't care. Like, this isn't work related.
Yeah.
Man, Mark said it like, I don't know, season 2, season 3. Proximity to Don really is the most important thing when it comes to his canoodling.
To be fair, she was supposed to stop him at 3 drinks, and he was on drink number 4. So.
Yeah. I love that she did do a callback. I'm not going to throw anything at you, or I won't run out of here crying. Like, okay, well, let's fucking do this, baby.
That's what they all say.
That eases all of my concerns. All right, let's get down to it.
Like, what would you say your fastball is? About 97? Okay, no, fuck that. So yeah, canoodling. Roger, total fucking prick though. Like, all around on everything. Like, knew about this, didn't say shit. Wanted to fuck Jane as many times as he possibly can. Like, fucking dad, like husbands over in Vietnam. Like overall, like, even though she wishes everybody gets drafted and dies. But Peggy overreacted. I would still call back to that episode when she fires that guy and goes, "Yeah, you just don't. Now you look like a bitch that don't have to take a joke. You wanted them all to die in war. What are you talking about?" But yeah,
she was joking.
I think it's a fine episode. It's funny how the rest of the episodes get really good, but like how Lucky Strike really was like, everybody was like, we lost Lucky Strike. Oh fuck! And then everybody's like, I don't know if you're gonna be here. Like, it's gonna be rough for you, buddy. So it's interesting to see where they go.
He's only 2/3 of our money.
Maybe that's why they didn't show us a buildup of the business, because they're going to lose fucking everybody, and we're going to do it right now in season 5.
Back
I'm
to the
always
hotel.
surprised. Yeah, I'm always surprised how he rewatches like, oh, the Lucky Strike thing just kind of comes out right away. I thought this could have been easily something like we just kind of sat on for a couple weeks and like, nah, it just happens right away.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah, let's go. Blowing Smoke, episode 12. Yeah, we start out. Don meets with that Hines guy, and he throws some good ideas at him. And that Hines guy is like, "All right, that sounds good, but why don't you call me in 6 months? Because I don't know if you're going to be around. Like, just do that for me." And Don was like, "Well, what if I try to do the commission thing?" He's like, Don, leave that for the account guys. It's okay. Just call me in 6 months. If you're around 6 months, don't worry. We'll do some stuff." I can skip that. Yeah, they bring in somebody. Oh, I can't remember the guy Faye works for. Talking about, hey, I think I know what you guys need to do. You guys need to find a new cigarette account. It's what you guys do best. So like, let's just figure out a new one. Marlboro, I think, is who that company was, trying to do a new line for women. They kind of want to start out fresh. That's probably something that you gotta go out for. We then get a montage of the employees talking about all their worries about the company. Everybody's not sure about what's going to happen. And then, oh boy, Sally has a new friend. She is hanging out with Glenn. And what do you know? They talk about Betty a lot of that time. So fun stuff. Glenn really is going in there playing the long game. Gotta love it. Dawn then runs into Midge at his building. She is like, "Hey, I want funny running into you here. Like, what if we meet up later and we catch up? Maybe you buy one of my paintings." He's like, "Yeah, why not? Well, let's just do that." And Dawn then goes to some crappy apartment where he meets Midge's husband, and they get into one of the weirdest conversations ever, where he's basically just trying to sell his wife's ass, for some cash. And they're like, "Hey, maybe you buy a painting, she'll be really really appreciative." Like, okay, dude. Like, how about I just give you some money and you can get out of here?
Like, hey, I'll make you a dinner. We don't have any food though. If only had some money for some groceries.
And then throughout that, after he leaves, Midge.
What am I going to do with a check? One of the craziest lines.
Just go to the bank. I mean,
I need the smack now. Like,
yes, he gave her a check for $400, and she sold it for like $140 cash or something like that.
Yeah,
It's like
$141 or whatever, and it literally takes the check and just. No, can I have both, please? This is to get me started. This is what I'll cash.
Yeah, so she's addicted to heroin. He buys a painting and leaves. We then see Sally meeting with her psychiatrist. Her psychiatrist making note how well she's doing. Betty then talks to Sally's psychiatrist. She's like, "Hey, Sally's doing pretty well. I think we can cut back on her time." And then Betty is like, "I don't know, man. Like, she still kind of sucks. Like, maybe you can keep talking to her a bit." And then she's like, "Hey, maybe she can start seeing it, but maybe you should start seeing somebody." And like, Betty is like, "I don't think I'm good. Like, why can't I talk to you?"
No, I'm not the problem. It's the
then,
kids that are wrong.
But then we get to the tobacco account. Meeting has come. Everybody gets ready to try to sell this thing. They meet in the lobby, and then what do you know? The guy comes out and says, "Hey, meeting's canceled." They went the
What
other
do you mean it's canceled? Don handles it so well.
And they hear the immortal lines like, "Yeah, they just don't know where you're going to be in 6 months." So like, so again, Pete is like, "Yeah, we can't.
We're gonna be dead in 6 months."
Pete's all pissed. We can't get a meeting of a goddamn tobacco account. What the hell is this? And now the partners are now in panic mode. Lane then tells him, "Hey, the bank has agreed to extend our line of credit. but we will need all the senior partners to put in $100,000, and then me and Pete will put in $50,000, and that should keep us afloat for another 6 months, and that can maybe take us to the end of the year. Yeah, and after that, Pete told Don that, yeah, man, I don't have that kind of money. I don't just have like 50K lying around. And then around then, Peggy is also looking for some direction of kind of where to go. And Don is like, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're dead in the water here. Like, you can't sign any fucking business. So Peggy's not really getting anything there. Pete and Trudy also get in an argument about the money because he was trying to take out a loan. So it's like, yeah, we can't buy a house. And she's like, what? We need a yard to go into. And like Pete is like, what? The Central Park was good enough for me. Why don't we do that? So yeah, Trudy gets all pissed about that. And then Don is like, and Don is like, well, shit. What am I gonna do? Can't figure out anything to do. And he's like, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell all these tobacco companies they can go fuck themselves. And just writes like an anti-tobacco letter saying, yeah, like I made a bunch of money off smoking, even though I know it's bad. And then sends that to the thing is the New York Times or whatever. He sends it all over, so it becomes big news. And of course, he walks in, and the rest of the partners are quite furious about the whole thing. They are not happy that he did that because now he makes them because he put the company name on there, made them look like a whole bunch of assholes. He then gets congratulations from CGC, although he thought it was Robert Kennedy. He probably wouldn't have taken the call if it was Ted Shaw, unfortunately. Then everybody's still upset. We get the immortal line from Burt Cooper, like, I gotta quit. We created a monster here.
I don't want to work here anymore. I knew back then you want a good partner. Oh,
Get my shoes.
Yeah, and then we get in the office. They're talking about pros and cons of the letter. It's like, yeah, this kind of sucks, but they're not talking about Lucky Strike anymore. And then there's some talks of like, I wonder they're going to start firing people. And then Bert comes in. That's right. Congratulations to you all. And then one person said, oh, I didn't think they'd start with him, but Don brings in Peggy, and Peggy is scared shitless because she thinks like she's about to be fired, and he's like, "Nah, tell me who you can live without." And she's like, "I don't know. I guess a lot of people." And then Don's like, "All right, good, because I was gonna fire a lot of people, like pretty much everybody. Like it is going." And then we head back over to Sally. Betty's driving around. She sees Sally walking somewhere, and she decides to follow her. And of course, Sally is going to meet Glenn. And then Glenn sees her, and he makes the the response we expect to make. Panic and just runs off, not saying anything. Makes sense. Betty is not happy with Sally meeting up with Glenn. I'll go back to that. Don then later meets a Faye and finds out that she was an unfortunate casualty in the whole thing because she ended up losing her job because they thought she was gonna possibly, maybe she'll turn on them. But the plus side is, they get to be out in the open now. So she tells Don, let's just be out in the open now. And then after Betty sees Sally up there, she's like, "Hey, I don't like this neighborhood anymore. A lot of not great people here. Why don't we move?" And then Henry's like, "Great idea." And Sally, of course, all upset. She runs off because now she won't get to see a good old dreamy Glenn. Then we talking about downsizing. The firings are about to start, and Roger tells Don that the American Cancer Society called and they want to do a meeting. And like they thought it was a joke too, but it turns out to be a real thing. So they're gonna, be doing some pro bono work now. We then get into after the meeting. Pete then tries to bargain with Lane. Says, "Hey, I know you spent that $50,000. I'm putting something together. Is there any way I can earn that give you that later or something?" And then Lane's like, "What are you talking about, man? Like Don already paid your share." And he's like, "Huh." Well, that was damn decent. And he gives him a look. And then as Dawn just goes to fire a bunch of people. And yeah, that is the end of Blowing Smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's great. Overall, I think like the paper, writing in the paper is hilarious to me. Like he's like, if you don't see it as an ad, then I can't help you. Like this is the whole thing. I don't give a shit. At least they're talking about us, and not at least they know we're alive. But like I could see if I worked with a group of people and we were on it, we just lost, and they wrote that. What the fuck do you mean? It was like, but he's not wrong. They just lost Lucky Strike. They're not going to get anything new. Like Marvel's not leaving to come over to them at this point. So
I mean, it was like when Jerry Maguire wrote his little manifesto.
right. So you coming with me? Who's coming with me? Who's leaving with me? I'm taking the fish. Like that's what that is. But no, I think it's a great like setup to the end of the episode. Like where they go from here. What's the future of this? Because this is new company. Lucky Stripe is so big of the company now. How do they either stay afloat or die? So I think it's gonna be interesting to see where we end up leaving it off. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought all that stuff was great. It was a nice little character moment there at the end where we found out that Don paid for Pete. I guess kind of maybe that's kind of his thanks for what you did with that other thing for me. We're square now, I guess. And yeah, it's good to have Glenn back. Missed him there for a few episodes. I mean, you missed the part where Glenn offered Sally his backwash. It's like,
Oh, God. Human scumbags, Glenn.
Hey, listen, we know Glenn is a little weirdo. Like I don't feel like I need to reiterate that.
And this is, and yeah, Betty like influences them to move and stuff because she wants to just get away from Glenn.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't want Glenn encroaching on her territory. Like she sees what he's doing. Okay, she knows what's going on.
She's like, no, I'm not good enough for Glenn. He's going after Sally. That sucks.
Maybe you shouldn't give him
no
a
one
fucking
cares
lock,
about me.
Maybe you shouldn't give him a lock, you crazy bitch. Like, what the fuck?
All right, yeah, let's finish this one out. Let's go to the season finale. Tomorrowland. Start out. Faye, is over at Don's place trying to give him a pep talk about that American Cancer Society meeting, saying, hey, don't worry. After that's done, you'll be over in California with your kids. Things will be all fine and dandy from us from here on out. Just really it feels bright about the future, even though things are getting a little grim over at Sterling Cooper Draper Price. They have not signed any new business in 10 weeks. Since losing Lucky Strike, so things are looking bad. Because like Joan got promoted, but Lane is like, "Hey, actually, this is title only because we can't give you any more money." But hey, you'll be called the director of agency operations, so that sounds pretty cool.
Get back to handing out everyone's mail.
Don has that meeting, and it seems to go pretty well. They kind of liked what he was saying about anti-smoking or going after the kids. So they seem to like that. The partners then go to meet with Ken because they're like, hey, your father-in-law, he's kind of a big wig at one of those businesses. You think that should go good, right? And he's like, well, I guess so. He's like, hey, well, why don't you talk to him? Like, you'd be the perfect guy to do. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's dumb. I'm married to his daughter. I'm not going to sour our relationship with business. That's stupid. I'm not Pete. I'm sorry. And they pretty much tell him, yeah, well, you can feel that way, but we'll just go on without you. And he's like, all right, as long as you leave me out of it, I can give a shit. Glenn then goes and visits the house. Carla decides to let him in. And Glenn and Sally share like a somewhat heartfelt goodbye. Like, hey, or they'll be around. Glenn is like, no, I'll get to drive you at some point. And what do you know? As soon as Glenn leaves, runs into Betty, and Betty is like, "Hell are you doing here? Who let you in?" And then Glenn is like, "Why do you hate me?" And he's like, "Dude, you know, all right, you're dumb to ask." And so she storms off. So I would say in this part, I think Betty acted accordingly. Until we get to how she reacted with Carla, and she's like, "What? Why'd you let Carla in? Or why'd you let Glenn in?" It's like, I don't know. They're just, they're up there. Like, so you let them up there alone. It's like, yeah, well, they're kids. Like, oh, I didn't know you were her parent all of a sudden. So yeah, fires Carla on the spot. Says, yeah, we don't need to do
You
this.
think that's justified of her firing Carla?
No. The Glenn stuff is justified. The Carla stuff is not. Very much.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's justified for her getting a bad guy of the week nomination, but yeah.
The Carla stuff is bad. It's like, yeah, and then says, yeah, you can't. She's like, I'm going to go say goodbye to the kids. Like, no, they're like, they'll traumatize them further or what, some bullshit or whatever. So yeah, then Betty, just decides to kneecap herself while they're in the middle of moving to another house for some dumb reason. But hey, to each their own, I guess. Yeah, and the meeting with his accountant, Don gets a call from Betty, says, "Yeah, I had to fire Carla." And then he's like, "Well, what the hell? I got the kids over the plane rides going to Disneyland. I need the help." He's like, "Well, can I hire her? For this time?" It's like, "I don't want her poisoning the well." It's like, the fuck? Why are you doing this to me? It's the worst thing you've done to me since you wanted a divorce. What the hell? He then decides he'll try to figure something out. Peggy's friend comes by and with another friend, and in the middle when Harry is trying to bang that friend or whatever, she talks about this company Topaz Pantyhose. They just fired all their people, and Peggy is like, "Huh, that's kind of weird." So she kind of locks that away. And then Don looks at his secretary and thinks, "Huh, she probably has nothing to do for the weekend. Let me see if she's available to help me out with the with babysitting. Why can't you handle the baby and you get a free trip? And I'll pay you a little bit more of what I pay you in a week to just come to California with me." She ends up taking him up on that. Ken then goes to Peggy and confirms her hunch that Topaz is looking for a new direction, so they got a place to go there. Dawn is immediately impressed with Megan's babysitting skills. She does seem to hit it off with the kids. And also in the middle of that, Dawn does take the kids to Anna's house. They meet Stephanie. And there is also a little bit of an awkward moment when she asks, "Hey, who's Dick?" And then Dawn responds, "Yeah, that's my nickname sometimes."
Yeah.
Just sometimes, people call me Dick. If you hear it, just don't worry about it. It's okay.
When I'm wearing the gray slacks, well, that's my nickname.
Anna then left her engagement ring from the real Don, to Don. So she wanted him to have that. Then first wasn't going. So yeah, he then takes the rest of that day as an enjoyable day with the kids. He going out in the pool doing stuff. And then, so they seem to be having a good trip. Then Betty comes home to Henry, who is disheveled, I would say, to say the least. He's like, "Hey, I don't understand why you fired Carla. It's kind of dumb. We're kind of packing stuff away. And also, hey, I also heard you won't give her a recommendation. How long has she worked for you? Since the kids were born? That doesn't make any sense." She's like, "What? Am I right to be mad or whatever?" It's like, well, what the hell, man? I don't know why you're just doing this to us. And what, you can't be on my side? And then, Henry just drops the funniest line ever. He's like, "Yeah, no one's ever on your side, Betty." So she has that. Don then says, "Hey, you know what? I'm not doing anything tonight. Let me just go knock on Megan's door. So let's just see what she's up to." And then, what do you know? Yeah, they just do it. I don't know what Don's doing. We knew this was going to happen when he invited Megan over to California for a couple weeks. He's going to end up sleeping with Megan again because, he just can't help himself. Don cannot help himself.
But now he's paying her. Well, I guess technically she was in his employ before, but yeah. So
Yeah, well, whatever. So Don's there. The next they're talking throughout the night. He makes it clear he wants to see her again tomorrow because he's feeling something there. So that keeps going. Ken and Peggy then meet with the Topaz people, and it seems to be going pretty well. They are liking Peggy's ideas. They are kind of charmed immediately by her, and things are looking good. Don then makes note of a moment in which the kids kind of spill milkshake all over the table, and like Megan finds a way to diffuse it. So, and they kind of makes Don look at her differently, and they spend another night together. And he wakes her up and he says, "Hey, you know what? I think you're really great. I think things are going really well between us. I feel like I'm falling in love with you." And then proposes to Megan on the spot. Because why not? Why not?
I got the ring in my pocket. Why not?
Why not? I have a few answers for the why not, but I'll let it go.
I mean, we'll get there. So Megan is excited. She says yes. They head back over to the office, and Don then tells the partners, "Hey, guess what? Getting married." It's like, "Oh, that's great. To who?" I'm getting married to Megan. And then Roger's like, "Who the hell is that?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "She's my secretary. Let's bring her in here." And everybody's congratulatory and while also kind of holding their opinions of themselves. And as that's happening, Kenny then confirms to Peggy that they landed the Topaz account, so it's going to be their first account they've gotten since losing Lucky Strike. And then Peggy goes over to the partners like, "Hey, we got some good news." And then Pete is like, "What, you guys getting married?" And she's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you talking about?" And then goes over to Don. He tells her that, "Yeah, me and Megan are getting married." And he's like, "Oh, wow, that's kind of crazy. Okay. Oh, yeah, we signed Topaz." I'm like, "Hey, that's also something. Like, way to get out there, slugger." Then he tells her some stuff like, "Yeah, I think she reminds me of you. I think there's some good things coming down the pike." And then Peggy then goes to Joan's office, and Joan is like, "Hey, whatever could be on your mind." They then talk some shit about Megan, and Joan is like, "Yeah, he's probably going to promote her now because he's not going to be married to his secretary anymore. So get ready for that."
She's gonna be a copyright. She looks up to you. Great.
Don then makes, he had a very unpleasant phone call in the suitcase, and he makes an equally unpleasant phone call here, where he tells Faye, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but I got married." She's like, "What? What are you talking about?" "You got married." And then she's like, "What?" "And sorry, it just happened." Like, "The fuck are you talking about? It just happened. Like, I saw you this weekend. Like, everything was cool." It's like I don't know what to tell. He's like, "All right, well, you can go be happy with her, and I hope she knows you only like the beginnings of things." Which, great way to describe Dawn, and that was a pretty sick burn, honestly. We then go over to Joan. She's telling her husband over in Vietnam all the stuff that's going on. And through their conversation, she just casually kind of drops that, maybe she didn't get the abortion and she's going to keep the baby. And also telling him that it's his. So, we got that to look forward to.
He's a doctor. Don't you think he knows math?
Well, he's probably a little liberal with that, man.
2 plus 2 should be 4, but for some reason it's 8 here. I don't know.
Maybe she, just it's what happens.
It's one of those rare 11-month pregnancies.
And that's off. Don heads back over to his house, sees that Betty is pretty much finished packing up. They talk, give their well wishes to the new property. And he's like, "Hey, Betty, I'm engaged." And she's like, "Huh. All right. Like, good for you, I guess. I'm like, weirdly enough, is kind of cordial with Dawn about this whole thing, which I just can't pinpoint like how Betty's gonna react to anything. I gotta be honest, especially at this point.
You're not wrong.
So yeah, we then end the season off with Don laying in bed with Megan, getting ready to start his new life with Megan, and that is the end of season 4 of Mad Men.
Great end of the season. I think. I mean, we'll get to ranking later. I think a lesser season than what I thought. There were some great episodes, but
Yeah.
and there's some tension. But overall, I don't know. I'm the least invested. I think more invested in the previous seasons. The only issue, like the marriage thing, seems just weird and out of place, but it also feels very Dawn. So I don't know. I do love the relationship between him and Peggy. Is basically like, listen, you can tell me like I'm happy. Like you don't have to be like judge. You don't have to like criticize me too bad. Like I'm like. But she like you knew it was coming. Like I think it's fine. I think it's a fine season finale. It's just hard when we've been building to such great episodes and like how the Shield built. I think the Shield hit their mark. I don't know if Mad Men truly hit their mark on this season finale for me, but not in the negative, like super negative. It's just it's a hard build. You've been hitting home runs for 3 straight seasons. It's just hard to do it for the 4th too all the time. So, and again, the storyline still got me intrigued to go to season 5. It's just compared to what has been a step down.
Yeah, there's no like big, oh no, the company's getting sold or we're going to run off and split off and do our own thing. This is definitely kind of a more low-key season finale for them. But I mean, overall it was good. I thought the Betty Carla stuff I thought was crazy with how long that she's been helping that family and stuff, and for her to treat her like that is just ridiculous. And the Megan and Dawn and the kids all in California. I think the scene that I really loved over there was when the scene where she knocked over the milkshake.
Yes,
and you see Don just bracing because he's used to Betty would have just flipped out and started yelling and smacking the kids and stuff. But Megan's just like, she's like, it's okay, it's all right, and starts cleaning it up and stuff. So I think that was the moment.
I think that's
Dawn.
what clicked with Dawn.
Yeah,
she's like, it's just a milkshake, and like Dawn like turned to her and was like, "You're right. It's just a fucking milkshake. Like it's not that big of a deal."
I mean, Faye would have also done that. So like, Faye would have just married Faye,
Well, he's a fucking scumbag. We've learned this. He dated that one girl until he got what he wanted. Then he went right to Faye and waited until he got with her. And then all of a sudden, the secretary's like, "Let's get fucking married. You were nice to my kids at dinner." Versus where they yelled. Like,
I just think it's crazy, especially watching this again. It's like him marrying Megan like just really threw me. I think the first time I watched it, and even watching it again,
it is very stupid.
It's stupid, especially going back through like I would say this will become clear later on, especially all of Don's trysts and relationships. I would say probably his best one, his most, I would say, built for success relationship was probably with Faye.
Yes.
Where she was a good person. He shared who he was of her, and she didn't like shy away or judge him or anything. Like she is clearly the person he should have ended up with.
When he was having a heart attack, when the feds were looking into him, she walked him through that. Like,
but that's the thing, though, is that she was almost like an equal to Don. It's not like Don likes to be like over the people he's with a little bit.
Their salaries are under the same umbrella. When they both go under, they're both poor. Bad logistics here.
Even that, but I just also on that level, I just love this character dynamic. For as smart as we see Don throughout the course of the show, he is also incredibly impulsive and emotional. Like just at a drop of a hat, and will do some just wild thing. Like, yeah, like
when he said, "Let's get married," I literally go, Okay. And I was like, oh wait, he's fucking serious. What the
It's
fuck?
like, oh, hey, I just happen to have this engagement ring in my pocket. Perfect timing.
Even Megan's like, the fuck? Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a red flag if somebody like pulled out an engagement ring, like have to be like
you-
alone with him for like 2 days.
You fucking think? You guys want to go to New Jersey?
Yeah.
Start them off here.
Calling all cars. So, man, I just want to get this off my chest. I'm terrified now. I am getting more and more terrified that this fucking show is going to end in a dream sequence, and I'm going to fucking kill myself. So if I was doing The Shield and Matt did Sopranos, I don't think I'm fucking invested week to week to pay attention closely on all this shit, and I've not seen anything explore. And these fucking dream sequences are pissing me the fuck off, and I just think that's where we're gonna end because I've heard how it ends is not great. And I'm putting in my head, if I had something that wouldn't end great in my eyes, a dream sequence is right fucking up there. And I'll be mad if he's in his fucking bed and wakes up and is like, I'm gonna burn everything down. So that might be my last episode of TV Chronicles, just so everybody know. But dream sequence starts. Carmela's driving. Ralph is in the front seat with a caterpillar in his head, and the Mercedes-Benz dealer lady, whatever, is next to him, and they're driving. Well, he sits down with Jennifer to have a whole conversation about things like, "Oh, you're so fucking original. Oh, Carmela's driving. How interesting. How philosophical. Like, tell me what this blah blah blah. It's fucking bullshit. None of this works. I think we should be done." And Jennifer basically lays it on. When you fucking came to me, you were clinically depressed. You were having fucking panic attacks weekly. Like we did accomplish some stuff. So fuck off, basically. Bakla takes a cake and buries it next to his wife's grave. So he's still dealing with it. Tony and Carmine and Sachs. What's his name? Johnny Sachs?
Johnny Sachs, yeah.
Johnny Sachs is sitting down to negotiate the HUD thing. Tony has no interest in negotiating the HUD thing. He's like, nah, you were there before. Like, I'm not doing it. He's like, 40% sounds fair. Or 50% or something like that to start. But he's like, how about 5? But that's not happening. And he gets up and he just walks away. He's like, fuck off. I'm not doing this. Fucking the worst person in the world. Janice and Vakla are dealing with his problems, and she's like fucking like passively aggressively beating him up about his ex-wife that literally died this season, I believe. Like she just died
like weeks ago. I feel.
Yeah, so he's not gonna just deal with it just normal, but she's like trying to like talk him out of it. And so like, I'm here every night. Like I'm feeding your kid. I didn't have to. Like, get the fuck out of this house, Janice. Like you're crazy.
And you're over there burying cakes in the grave.
What a
Yeah, that's fucking yeah.
You're going to the graveyard every day. Ugh.
They Tony ends up calling back to Carmine. He's like, 40% is not going to happen. Like that's just not going. We're not going to do that. But I'll give you 5.5. I'll give you 5.5. He whispers it to Carmine. Carmine hangs up the fucking phone. So they're basically Vic the appraiser. He's going to have his guys pay him a visit to basically rough him up, basically to come work on his side of it. Bakla's son is whatever talking about his like dad and like his mom and like how they're missing her. Then it's a pretty interesting scene. Johnny Sachs and Walnuts are walking, and he's like, "Hey, if anything, things like this goes south." Walnuts is like, "What, Tony?" He's like, you never know. Things are fluid, but don't forget, Carmine won't forget you in this whole thing. Like, he'll he'll keep you tight. He'll keep you close. Like, that you'll have a place. He's like, oh, okay. Then we go to fucking Groucho Marx's house, Junior, and the nurse's lady's like, "Did you offer my nephew a drink? I'm not a maid. I'm a nurse. Did you offer him water or medicine? Like, just like doing the whole thing." But his trial's ongoing. They're basically seeing if he's wondering if he's going to be fit or not, and to prepare for the worst. Janice goes over to Carmela to basically talk to him about how Baco's dealing with the whole thing and kind of his psychosis and everything. Vic, the appraiser, gets fucking roughed up by Carmine's guys. Walnut, Silvio, Tony are all out there. Somebody comes to pick up walnuts, and they're honking. He's like, "I'm gonna pick the fucking horn, shove it up your ass." But he's mad. But they kind of have a heart to heart because like they're questioning about walnuts. Like maybe he's been telling him the stuff. Like we're not gonna tell him about this trip to Florida because we're gonna go talk to Carmine Jr. basically to see if we can broker a deal without him present. Family dinners happening over at the Sopranos, and that's when AJ brings over, I don't remember her name, but brings her over. They're basically having family dinner. Tony gets called at dinner, basically the Florida trip, and he's set up a meeting with Junior. Carmela wants AJ and them to spend time with. They were AJ went up to his room with his girlfriend and shut the door. Like, where's AJ? He's like, oh, it's upstairs. No, the door's not supposed to be locked. So they end up getting the thing. And the most AJ thing possible to do is pull out a Ouija board and play with these things and try to contact their dead mother. And basically by tricking them, which gets them all upset. Again, Tony calls Silvio, basically says the Florida trip was on. Don't say fucking shit. Don't say anything. The walnuts. You're the only one. The appraiser gets roughed up by fucking Tony's crew. So he's back and forth. I never felt so bad for him. Janice and Boxall have this weird, awkward like exchange in a public like restaurant. Like, I'm here every night. Janice, just don't fucking play in traffic. Like no one likes you. Jennifer and Tony end up cutting. They're done with therapy. We're gonna call it a wrap, basically. Bakla, Son, and Janice are like communicating through the computer, right?
Yeah, she's like messaging him to like go look in like the drawer or whatever, and there was like the Ouija board or something's in there. Yeah,
just basically pays him to play it. Junior is going to stand trial. He is fit. They do not believe that the stuff actually worked. Bakla comes home and Jan's like, I found them and they were playing with the Ouija board, like blah blah. I just didn't want to intervene. I knew they were doing it, but I just didn't want to like overstep and blah blah. Basically suggests that he cooks his wife's ziti, like basically finally finishes it and bakes it. Tony basically talks with Carmine and they broker a deal that he's going to talk to his dad for him. And then ends in a fucking dream sequence where Tony is walking around the fucking hot ass like this old country home or whatever. Sees Ralph, walks inside. There's a figure standing on the stairs. I don't know if I don't remember who it claimed to be, but as soon as he enters, he wakes up. He goes outside. It's hot ass Florida, and he just stands out there staring at the ocean of the thing. And that's how episode 11 ends. Thoughts?
Not the greatest of episodes.
No,
I like the stuff with the appraiser just getting beat on both sides of the thing. But yeah, all the Janice and Bobby stuff is it's hard to watch. All that, just her just like digging her claws into him, and then the dream stuff. But yeah.
I mean, most of the dream stuff doesn't bother. It's like I feel like going in knowing it's there, like it is what it is. God, I just hate Janice so much. We really had people this week that did way worse things than her. But man, it's going to be really tough to not pick her for bad guy of the week. It just like I like Bobby Buck. I like Bobby. Bobby's a cool guy, and like knowing that he might have to deal with Janice like for the rest of his life. Like no, I hate it so much. Can't get enough of it. You know, at least Bobby. I mean, Bobby does have a cool moment this week where he's like scanning the jury, try to find like some guy, like see like which guy you can probably like lean on to. So there was great. And then we mentioned that appraiser was getting the shit beat out of him from everybody. Poor guy, but yeah. Definitely some fun stuff here, but we can definitely get into the meat here in the next few episodes.
Yes. Eloise, episode 12, opens up with the trial and the picking the jury, and they finally the Junior's crew finds a weekend of the jury by looking at them to see who they are going to convince to not vote guilty on his charges. Furio stops by, basically what they do every more. There's some weird, awkward tension between Carmela and him. He's overall driving Tony and not really saying much. Johnny Sacks and Carmine Jr. and Carmine meet playing golf, and basically where our conversation was supposed to skew to lower than 40%, basically told him to stick to his fucking guns. Johnny Sacks fucked that shit around. He's basically creating tension between Carmine and fucking Tony. He doesn't want them both in the picture. Carmela stops by Furio's house to help him overall. There's a gambling night at Tony's place. Furio's giving him the death glare while he's flirting and dancing with another woman. Clearly, the tension between the relationship is true. Um, uh, uh, Walnuts, his mom was in. They were in a car accident because that one lady just like ran into another car. So
there's one in the show to tell you old ladies should not be driving cars.
Correct. Those bigger cars too. Carmela visits Meadow. Tony is getting drunk as it goes, and they get towards a helicopter. Awkward situation where Furio grabs him by the things, and like his head is very close to a helicopter blade, and he's just like, and Tony's hammered at this point, so he doesn't really know what's going on, but he looks really back on it, like, was fucking Furio gonna kill me in that situation?
He saved you.
Yeah. Carmela and Tony are in the morning. Tony has been beat to shit. He's asking for coffee. But Furio hasn't showed up, so he's giving a call. Carmela drives by his house to see if he's home, and he is not. Meadow calls to invite Tony and them over to his house for a dinner. Johnny Sacks, Silvio, and Tony meet at their place to talk about the thing, and Tony realizes that it's not been broke, like it hasn't been fixed. Carmine Jr. did nothing to fix it, so they're still at their impasse. They're in there loading stuff they're at Meadows' house, and Tony gets a call that Furio has went back to Italy. He is gone. Carmela looks destroyed. They're all having dinner, and there's an entire conversation about a book about homosexual tendencies throughout the book, and the author, Carmela, goes, everything's about homosexuality now, and everybody wants to make a thing. And Meadow's like, listen, bitch, like, she did write a bunch of homosexual novels, like, it isn't, like, oh, maybe you need to read more, and blah, 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 or, yeah, she come to Columbia. It's just this weird, awkward, early 2000s, like, argument that I could see happening. Tony responds to the appraiser basically by destroying the little bar, drawing dicks on the, the thing in spray paint. Shows the sign. Silvio and Walnuts gets into it basically. He's like, listen, it isn't about who's been here the longest. It matters how big's the envelope at the end of the day. I was here before you, motherfucker. Their Walnuts goes out to dinner with his ma and those two older ladies, and they end up loading up all the stuff to take back. Where's my bread? Where's mom's bread? Ends up taking the bread. And then they made a comment of like, is it still under what? Oh, I need to cash my check. Well, where's your cat check? Is always all under the mattress, which tips off Walnuts money in a woman's maybe. Carmine says call the union. He's basically going to shut down the projects, and they tried him with a big inflatable rat thing on the back of it, and basically, because there's not enough union people, they're going to shut it down. Meadow calls Carmela to apologize for overall the tension between it and wants to do her birthday nails and like tea. Can we go do that? And they're like, yes. And they have an overall awkward conversation at dinner, like, did you want me to drop out? Do you not want me to do this? You pushed me for this schooling. Like, what do you want from me? So tension's pretty high. Man, talk about awkward situation. Walnuts walks into a party. Carmine's sitting there. He walks up to Carmine. He's like, hey, didn't know you were here. He's like, who are you? I'm Walnuts. I don't know. Yeah. So Johnny Sacks has basically been lying to him, telling him they're close, but he is really not. Walnuts breaks into that lady's house to go into the bed. She walks in and is like, what are you doing here? Like, are you trying to rob me? No, the window is open like that. I think you're trying to rob me. I'm not trying to rob you, I swear. Help! It's like, God, shut the fuck up, bitch. He ends up killing her. He puts a pillow over her head and ends up killing her. And then goes back to talk to Tony about the situation and drops off a hefty envelope because he kind of realizes that he doesn't have an end on the other side. So he's got to get on this one side. Meadow and Tony basically have a heart-to-heart on the stairs about how much his mother loves him, her mother loves him, and wants the best for her. Johnny Sacks and Tony talk about if something were to happen to Carmine, like, maybe it's not the worst situation. He's like, I shouldn't be hearing any of this at all. And it ends with Tony like cuddling up to Carmela and fades away while she's staring off into the Furio dreams. Thoughts?
Much better episode.
Much better.
No dreams. A lot less Janice, so yeah, great, good stuff. Yeah, the sequence where Furio and Tony after the helicopter, that I thought that was fantastic. You could see the tension kind of building up in Furio, thinking about what the one guy told him, that like, hey, if you're gonna go after this lady, you're gonna have to kill him. And yeah, that was close. And yeah, then he's moved out of there, so that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, other than that, and then we got the whole stuff about Walnuts, the stuff with him and the old ladies, the dinner and stuff was great. And finding out that Johnny Sacks has kind of been leading him on a little bit as far as his position over there. And then the ending, just Johnny Sacks and Tony maybe working together. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, like especially in rewatch, I'm really impressed with how much The Sopranos is able to have such a silly storyline, like Paulie and like driving around as like mom and like her friends, with this also other story of Johnny Sacks is like getting fed up with Carmine, and maybe Johnny Sacks is going to start to and make moves against him, and like he's gonna have Tony try to whack him. Like I really love how we just kind of flow just in and out of that.
Yeah.
Like, but no, like just really good stuff all around. I'm not sure if I laughed harder in a moment this season than when Carmine had no idea who Paulie was. He's like, remind me, who are you again? No, like, it sets up for some possible explosive things here in the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best acting in the show so far comes in this episode. Whitecaps. Basically, starts as Carmela is getting her vitals. Basically, she's sick or something's going wrong. They're not knowing what's wrong. I mean, overall, Carmela knows exactly what's wrong, but
she's got a
they're
broken
not
heart.
Really. There's a cool scene where Christopher is getting out of therapy, out of recovery. Patsy is out in the car, and so are like the two FBI agents, and Patsy's like, hey, fuck off, like it isn't working. Tony is gonna purchase a house on the shore, I'm guessing is where they're
Yeah,
at. I wouldn't say
sure.
they're going too far, but basically it's called Whitecaps. Surprising, it's for the family. I think I didn't touch over it. I said something about the juror, but basically they corner one of the jurors of the trial to basically say, yeah, Junior Sopranos would like your endorsement, blah, blah. Judge comes back and goes, we can't reach an agreement, but I think like you guys can, so I want to put you back in there to come up with one. While everybody's like looking at the one guy like, you fucking prick. They're overall, Tony doesn't get the right Chinese order, and he's pissed off. He's like, fucking bullshit. That's $3. AJ goes, motherfucker, I heard Dad say, motherfucker, you're both paying $3. This is gonna work. You're gonna stop. Carmela has like a brief moment of talking about like Furia going back with Tony in bed, but Tony really doesn't like cat much to it. Christopher and Tony are in the car talking about possibly the demise of Carmine, getting rid of Carmine now that he's back. Johnny Sachs and Tony meets about overall situation and setting it up, and they're in agreement basically that this is what's going to end up happening. Tony's here at the shore place talking about putting down the deposit to basically get the house. Brings the kids by. They have like a little romantic thing on the beach. There's kissing. Love is in the air. Nothing could go wrong with this couple. They're happy. Christopher meets with two of the guys to take the case and drops off the money to them. AJ's at home. AJ gets a phone call. It is a Russian lady on the other side of the phone. All of a sudden, Mom, it's for you. She picks up the phone. She ends up hearing about it. He hangs up. Honor calls her back and goes, yeah, I am a piece of shit, but what does that make your husband? Like, he slept with the one-legged woman, which makes her heart stop because like she knows, like, holy shit. And this scene alone from what's her name that plays Carmela? She was also in Oz, but
Edie Falco.
Edie Falco's performance in this scene and how she plays like absolutely hysterical is next level. Like, absolutely one of the best acting performances I've seen from the show, especially. But he drives up, his golf ball bag is out there, golf car clubs. She runs over, all his clothes are getting thrown out. Like, Carmelo, what the fuck you doing? He gets up and goes, he's like, I talked to her. She called the fucking house the whore. And she's like, you fucked me around for years. You've done this forever and all this stuff. But I think the breaking point finally is because she really wanted Furio, but she couldn't get Furio because she stayed loyal, she stayed honest, but Tony wasn't the entire time. And then he's like trying to pass it off that she's crazy and she's not telling the truth, like none of this is real. I haven't done anything with her. And then what about her cousin? What? and then just basically and like breaks down like everything. Like I talked to your mom about her alopecia and everything. Like I was there. I shared vodka with on your mother's dead funeral. And she's like, and the fact that she's able to do this with like that visceral like crying, like I think is so impressive. Like I don't know, like I don't know how she got to that level, but she got to it, which is just damn impressive. I should change this to Whitecaps because now my time code's gonna be off. But it's overall having this full on emotional reaction and like doing it, and it's like they get into like a physical altercation on the thing. She's like, "I want you gone. Like I don't want you here anymore." And then he's like, and then he's like, "You stole from me." Stole from you? A bird feeder? You sound demented. Like you're crazy. And then it's like, if you want to hit me, go ahead. Like hit me. Like it doesn't matter. But like I just want you gone. I don't want you here anymore. Don't stand here anymore. I want you out of my sight. And it's like, and then I found the fingernail, Tony. You saw it on your nightstand. You saw the fingernail. And this is like one of the best, like that's. And she's like, that's what, Tony. Because if he admits that's not hers, it's someone else on top of everything else. So he is like completely just like, I don't understand, Tony. Like, she wants him out of this house, like, doesn't want anything to do with him. God. He goes over and visits the nurse, and she's like, "Do you say anything? It's my sister. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you, but it is what it is." He goes down to the shore and sleeps in the house, basically, while they're there. FBI agent meets with Andrea, talks about the whole situation. When she doesn't get anything new information about Christopher, basically goes, "Well, how about Tony?" And like basically shuts the whole conversation down. They see him over there sleeping. He's like, "Oh, you got to get up. Like, please don't move in. Do not come over here without paying. Like, we got to make sure." He goes and visits the people. He goes, "I'm gonna have to change my mind. Things have changed at home. Like, I'm gonna need the money back. I'm gonna need the situation. Like, well, I'm sorry. Deal's a deal. Like, I'm not letting you out of it." He's like, "I'm gonna need that stuff. Like, I'll sure you'll figure it out, but I'm gonna need the stuff. I'm not." And then he ends up leaving. The wife's like, "He's in the mafia. What are you doing?" It's called. Well, where Tony comes from, that's still what he needs to know. It's a negotiation. Like he needs to figure that out. Carmine and Tony meet again. Nothing gets really ever settled. Still, it's still at a tension point at that point. Or wait, that one is where they agree, don't they?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, they agree on 15% or whatever the whole deal is.
Yeah.
And then he basically meets with Christopher, and Christopher goes, "Is that the end of it?" And he's like, "No, that's not it. Like, we're still going to proceed." Meadow sits down with Carmela, talking about the whole situation. Like, I can't believe you sit around for that long. And then AJ and her talk last episode I missed over, but they talked about going over to Furio's house multiple times. This is what Meadow asked, "Was it Furio?" He goes, "I was never unfaithful to your father. Like, I stayed true the entire time." And it's like, why'd you stay with him? Why did he let him play you like a fool for years? Tony goes back to Artie's restaurant and basically goes, "This is now Bente." He's still pissed at Artie. You can just tell, honestly. He's not happy with Artie to this day. Tony calls Johnny Sachs and and I don't think he tells him there that it's off. But he basically has a call to see if it's still basically on. He calls up the guy and says, "Hey, we're going to keep your $200,000. Like, we'll let you out of the deal, but we're going to keep the $200,000." He goes, "I'm going to get that money back." And he's like, "No, sorry, Tony. Like, I'm letting you know right now." Okay, whatever. Tony goes back to the house. Basically, he goes, "This is my house. I'm not leaving anywhere. You can't make me go." And she's like, "I want you out of this fucking house. I don't love you anymore. I don't want anything to do with you." he ends up going to like stay in like the theater place, like the theater room where he blows up an air mattress. Christopher gets a phone call from Tony, and he's like, "It's off. We're not doing it anymore." So he meets up with his local guys and says, "Hey, we're not done, but you can keep it. You can keep the money. Like, thanks for the deal." And then they end up shooting him and them both in the car, basically driving off and taking away Carmela and Tony. Tony's on a fucking float raft in the water. And Carmela goes, "Hey, can you move those chairs downstairs? That's what you're going to come out and talk to me about? That's what you want to bitch me about? Well, I can't do it myself." And this is when she's like, she's like, all you cared about was the money. Everything you made was all about money. Like, you made it this situation. Oh yeah, Miss Pure, living on nothing, just wanted all the old American life. A little ring, a little necklace with a little gold pendant. That's all I ever wanted. Yeah, fuck off. Like, you were just into this as much money. And then talks about Furio, which makes him fucking lose his fucking mind. He punches a wall behind her a lot of times. Junior and them get called on saying it is a mistrial. Junior is set free because they couldn't come to a conclusion. Tony comes out to the AJ comes out to the thing, goes, "I want to live out here with you." Tony goes, "That ain't fucking happening. Like, be respectful of your mother, but like, you can't live out here. Like, that's not gonna happen." They're all talking about what do you want to do, like your party, like you're free, Junior. Like, what do you want? Oh, I want some pies. Like, we order some pies. So they order pizza. A boat arrives right outside the house of the guy that says he's going to keep the $2,000, and Dean Martin's greatest hits are going to be played on full blast, like right outside his house. It's like, you fucking asshole. Tony meets with Johnny Sacks and basically says it's not happening. Like, we're calling it off. He's like, how should I trust a guy that says this on one thing and doesn't do another? I can't be under this guy anymore. I don't want to. He's like, hey, whatever you want to do, you can do, but I ain't doing it. Like, I'll support you. None of my conversation will get out there. I promise you. Like, nothing will do that. He's like, yeah, how can I trust a guy that just did this to me? Like, blah, blah. But he basically tells him, like, you have my dignity. The family all comes down. Tony says it's probably best if I don't live here anymore right now, so I'm gonna move off. And they all have a little bit of emotional moment when Tony leaves. And then the couple goes outside to basically sit there. The 200,000 people selling the house sit there, and the music starts playing again. He's like, "Mobs, cocksuckers!" Like, just this. He's like, "Just pay him his money." So they're gonna end up giving the $200,000 back, and that is season 4 of The Sopranos wrapped. Thoughts?
Did they know this was the season finale?
Yeah.
I
think with Carmela and Tony breaking,
the Carmela Tony, that's definitely the best.
I think
part
that
of this
was the
episode.
crucial thing to move it forward. Like, that's the equivalent of like somebody getting hit at the end. I think.
True.
Like, because their family dynamic, what Tony's created this entire time, is now all broken down because Carmela is officially done. So, but I agree. There's no like big like boom boom. But like, I think her acting performance at the end was enough to carry it for me.
It's a good thing that Furio moved out of there, because it was less than 2 fights and she is already telling him about. Furio would have been a dead man the next morning if he was still there. So he was smart to get out
Tony
while the getting was good.
People don't really fuck with Furio. Furio's a serious motherfucker.
But yeah, like I said, the Tony Carmela stuff was fantastic. That was really great acting on both of their parts. I got a kick out of the stuff with the beach house. I really liked when they took the kids to the beach house at the beginning of the episode. Tony's like, "One day you will inherit all this." And they're like, "Jesus, Dad." But yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah, as it turns out, even when you go to a mobster and says, "Hey, if anything happens to me, everybody will know about it," they can still fuck with your life somehow. Like it's not that hard. Like Tony was, I'll just park my boat outside your house and just place in Dean Martin, so that every time every time you think about anything, you're just gonna think of Dean Martin like singing to like a New York audience or whatever. Like hilarious. I really love how I think the Sopranos writing has evolved over this season. Just them building up this story with Johnny Sacks and like all the stuff with Ralph, building to a possible big shift in leadership. Because like this whole thing of like Johnny Sacks wanting to take out Carmine, something they built up for forever. And we're thinking, oh, that's going to be the big moment of this season. And then they just throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. It's like, actually, we have Tony's first big mistress of the show calls house, and she tells Carmelo everything. And now Carmelo just finally has a thing, and she just snaps. And we just get like a marital argument to end all marital arguments. Just incredible from both of them. I don't remember if both of them won acting Emmys for this episode. I think they did. I think at the very least Edie Falco did. So absolutely deserved it. I really liked how everything kind of came to a head in this episode. Especially we got like really cool Christopher moment. Even though Christopher's clean, he's still like a ruthless asshole, like killing those guys anyway. Like, and then just seeing how even though we see Johnny Sacks as kind of an ally, sort of not, like he is fully like probably going to be against them going forward after not following through with the Carmine hit. So interesting stuff going forward. And I think this whole season's pretty excellent. And I mean, just to kind of hint at where we're going with this, I would almost say it's probably the season, I think, bringing up the rear of the three that we've talked about so far.
Okay. First bad guy of the week before we rate the episodes, and Matt hopefully doesn't die before this ends. So this is probably the latest we've been in a while. Not the latest in runtime, but latest we started. So, Matt, who's your bad guy of the week?
I mean, there's a lot of good contenders. I mean, we got Sopranos World, we got Janice, as always. Even you can say probably Tony, too. Mad Men, you got Betty being all Betty and stuff. Shield, you got Aceveda. I'm just going to give it to Betty. Haven't given it to her in a little bit, so.
Pause. That was questionable language from Matt. I haven't given it to Betty in a while. Just want that on the record. Mark, who's your bad guy of the week?
Yeah, a lot of great choices here. Betty's a good one. Aceveda's solid. I really went back and forth on Dawn, just for the fucking asshole he is. But I think I'm just gonna go with Janice. I really like, especially after talking about it again, she really is just a total asshole. Like just emotionally manipulating Bobby and his kids and that. Like, yeah, she deserves it.
He's been on multiple episodes now. I can't think of his name, but the guy in Mad Men that walked into Peggy's office and be like, "Let's fuck because you just fucked somebody," is one of the most outlandish things. And then
you sat in a hotel room naked with me all night, and now you won't even let me kiss you.
And then basically goes, "No hard feelings, right?" And then lets her, while the company's about to go under, walks in there with lipstick on her teeth, just not saying a fucking word. Fucking scumbag. That's my pick for this week. Now we're getting season rankings.
Let's do kill count first.
Kill count. Good.
Yeah, so Mad Men, we're now up to 10 deaths.
Wow.
We're getting there. Sopranos was a little slow on the deaths this season. We're up to 42 for Mad Men. And then what was Shield at? Shield is up to 147 kills.
That's what I'm talking about. Good job, Shield. Los Angeles. going downhill. Just to recap for the people at home, the top-rated episode season for us is a 4.5. It is Mad Men season 3. We have 4.25 of Sopranos season 3, and then 4.0 is tied for season 2s of Mad Men and The Sopranos. Season 5 and season 1 and of Sopranos and Mad Men both sit at 3.75, and The Shield takes up the rear, basically 3.5, 3.25, 3.25 for 1, 2, and 3 in that order. So we're rating these as we go. We'll start with how we start is The Shield. Matt, it is your show. You talk about what is your score on The Shield.
I think that this has probably been the best season so far. I think Glenn Close came in and Anthony Anderson as well. They both knocked it out of the park. I think this is like the first season where you really have like the season-long story that actually kind of goes through the whole thing. So this one, I'm going to give this one a 4 stars.
Mark.
This is easily the best season of The Shield. Like I would say by far. Echo what Matt said. The guest roles of Anthony Anderson, Glenn Close really brought things up a notch. I think we also had a lot of characters, but at least the main characters from the strike team, we put them in a lot of interesting situations. They're on some good arcs, and I think also I don't want to say it the first time, but the intrigue factor for the show could not be any higher for me at this point. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really like this season.
And you gave it a what?
I gave it a 4. Mark gave it a 4.5.
Oh, 4.5. Okay. I'm also sitting at a 4. I don't know if I'm too. I wasn't going to go 4.25, but I was fearful to put it too high. So we'll sit there. Off the top of your dome, season 3 of The Sopranos and The Shield are now tied for the same score.
Okay.
Would either one of you put it higher than season 3 of The Sopranos for this past season? I'm guessing Mark would because he gave it a 4.5, and I don't think he gave Sopranos season 3 a 4.5. But Matt, which one do you think reigns supreme? That one?
Well, I mean, I gave
Sopranos?
the season 3 of The Sopranos a 4.5.
So that's where you rank it.
Yeah,
I would keep it the same.
And you
as
had
that.
4s for both of them, so
Yeah, I would put Sopranos. So right now, Shield season 3, season 4 is the third. It's the first one to hop all the way up there. So congratulations, Shield.
Yay.
Mark, Mad Men season 4. What is your rating?
Yeah, I love this season so much. Like it's where everything just starts hitting on all cylinders. I feel like all the characters are maturing to where they should. I feel like the story is as interesting as it will be. And for me with this show, I go back and forth all the time on which season I like the most between this season and season 5. And because I don't have season 5 on top of the dome too much, I'm just going to pull the trigger on season 4 of Mad Men. I'm just going to give it a 5 star. I love this season so much.
Where we're going to differ a little bit, I see. Because I thought last season was the best season of Mad Men so far. I do not think we topped it this season. I think we took a few steps back, honestly, this season. Not in a bad way, just not enough entertainment purpose for me. I'm going to be at 4. I think a solid 4 is where it is, because I don't think even the worst Mad Men in my eyes is still 4 stars, probably. I was close to a 5 last season. I went to a 4.5. I think I wouldn't be there this season. I think The Suitcase is a really great episode. But one great episode can't get you to that pinnacle for me. Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of lean more towards Cody's direction on this one. I agree that it's definitely the suitcase is probably the best episode of Mad Men that we've seen so far, and there's a couple other really great episodes this season. But as on a whole, I don't think it kind of reaches the consistency that season 3 had for me. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
So 2 4s and a 5. Is that a 4.5 or a 4.25? I would lean closer to a 4.25, but am I wrong?
I was told there would be no math in this program.
We just divide that up. Figure out. I believe it should be a 4.25. It would be 13 divided into 4. All right. It's 14 divided into 3. Excuse me. That says 4.6. I don't know. Like I think I'm more at 4.25. I think that makes more sense.
Okay. 4.25, because we're closer to the 4, but that 5 carries it a little bit. So here's the question. It is now tied with 2, 3, and 4, but we just put the Shield under the Sopranos. So is Mad Men season 4 better than Shield season 4? I'm saying no.
I'm also going to say no.
Okay, so it's under. Matt Mark's in his own personal hell right now. That's fair.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, Mad Men season 3 is like the number 1 right now, right? Is that
Mad Men season 3 is the number 1 with the only 4.5.
Yeah, so
right now you can't really bitch that much if we're being fair. So Sopranos is my show. Again, going off the line, don't know what anything's come. I'm at a 4.0. Sopranos season 4. I think there's great episodes. Maybe I'm at a 4.5. Ralphie does die. Christopher's rehab episode is real good. I think Carmela's acting at the end is top notch. I think the Carmine stuff's interesting. But then there's like that about HUD and I don't care about.
we get Graveyard Cake. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah. I'm going to sit at a 4. I think it's a 4. I don't think it's next level. It's not that, but when I think of like a 4.5 or a 5 is like something I would run back to and watch right now. And I don't think I would do that. I think a 4 is fine. So I'm at a 4. Matt.
Let's see. Last season I gave a 4.5, and I thought this one dropped a little bit. So I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
Mark.
Man, I'm really optimistic. Personally, I think each of these are the best seasons of their respective runs so far.
Okay.
I would say for the Shield, season 4 is the best season of the Shield sport. I think season 4 is the best season of Mad Men right now, and I think this is also the best. I mean, you mentioned all the great stuff that happened over the course of season 4. Like
Pi Oh My happens in this season. Pi Oh My. We get an entire episode about Pi Oh My.
I don't know. That didn't really bug me all that much, honestly. Like, especially when it leads to Ralphie's death. Like, I kind of.
Well, that's the good Pi Oh My. I'm talking about the whole sports bet, the whole horse racing bet episode that we have.
We got a whole episode of AJ trying to get laid.
You're not gonna let me in your room? It's fantastic. I will be at I'll go at a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
4.5 out of 5. Like it's excellent. Every show is running on all cylinders.
So if me and Matt were both at a 4 and you were at a 4.5 and we were both at a 4.
Same rating as Shield season 4.
Yeah, it's 4.25, which doesn't make sense. It should be a 4.0 in my eyes. But because if you're 5 and our 2.4 is dropped into a 4.25, if you're 4.5 and my 4 drop, we should be at 4.
This is what I'm going to say. Like, you were both at a 4 for Mad Men season 4. I was at a 5. I was 4.5. I think that easily makes it below Mad Men season 4.
Yes.
Just by our
I agree.
our hackneyed math.
Which we already said was below Shield season 4.
Yes.
Right.
So our
Yeah.
top 5 going into season 5 is Mad Men season 3 and 4.5. Season 3 of The Sopranos is number 2 on that list. Shield season 4 is number 3. Mad Men season 4 is number 4. And the 5th is this past season of The Sopranos at season 4. So that's the list. We'll be adding 2 more of The Sopranos. Is it 2 more of Mad Men? How many could you? We go to like 6B Sopranos weird shit. Shield's a 7 season.
Shield, yeah, has got 5, 6, and 7. I think Mad Men also has 7, right?
Mad Men.
Let me see. Yeah, Mad Men's got 7 seasons, and then honestly, I mean, we can just say that Sopranos is season 6, and we can just say we can 2 different seasons as 6 and 6.
No,
Seven.
it's gotta be 6. We didn't give Oz that break. Remember, we ripped it apart.
Episodes long. It's basically 2 seasons.
And Oz was 8 episodes. Oz was 8 episodes.
The Shield has the same thing where season 5 and season 6 were pretty much filmed at the same time. It's one almost long season that got broke up because they wanted to get
all
more
I'm saying
episodes,
is Oz was 8 episodes and it went 16 and we raked it across the fucking
that
coals.
is true. That
it's
really
normally
hurt
13 episodes. It went 21, which is only 7 more. So it's just a longer season. It counts as one. Season 6 is its own. If they wanted us to change it, they should have fucking slapped the
So
label
when we get
on
to
it.
season 6, we'll do ratings for Mad Men and The Shield, and then when we do season 7s, we'll do
Correct.
the rating of season 6 for The Sopranos.
Correct.
Okay, for the final season.
That's
Okay,
how it will work.
we'll
We will
see
be
if
back.
that works for it or against it.
We'll be back next week with our start of season 5.
Which is going to be
who gets
4 Mad Men, 3 Sopranos, and 3 Shields.
So we get to hear Mark talk for an hour and a half. Love it. Can't wait for it. We will catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up, right? On the
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't want to do your dirty work.